I just wanted to comment, Sid skated on his own this morning before the team practice, and I'll have no further comment after that.
Thanks. First question's from Matt Venzel. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Mike, I got a super important one for you to start off. Do you plan to bring all 5 goalies with you to Toronto? And how do you keep those reserve goalies sharp, especially if there's restrictions on practice time up there?
No, we're not going to take 5. We're going to take 4. And we're going to work, we've got our whole coaching staff going to Toronto. Ty Hennis is coming with us, our skills coach, who does a terrific job with these guys. And we're going to do our very best to keep them all game ready.
Next question's from Mike DeFabo. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Mike. Patrick Hornqvist rejoined practice today, and he stepped right in on that third line. I'm curious if you could just discuss that third line. What do you like about the pieces that you have there, and what kind of what do you think that they're going to bring to the team here in the postseason?
Well, I think they're all 3 of them are real good players. I think they have the ability to be difference makers in games. That's a good solid 200-foot line. Jared McCann has good offensive instincts. He can really skate. Patty Marleau can really skate. Is just a good conscientious 200-foot player. He's got a good shot, and Horny's a guy that brings some bite and some competitive spirit to that line. Horny's another guy that's pretty conscientious defensively as well. So we think there's a little bit of everything on that line. That line has the ability to be a real good 200-foot line for us on both sides of the puck.
Next question, Taylor Haas. Go ahead.
Hi, Mike. How close is tomorrow going to be to a full game day? I know there's a morning skate and the full 3 periods, but as far as off the ice, so you can have meetings at the same times. What do you expect?
Yes. It's going to be as close to a game day as we could possibly come. There's going to be meetings at the same times that we always have them. There's going to be morning skates. They'll get pregame meals, and so the players will have an opportunity to go through a routine game day.
Next question, Wes Crosby. Go ahead, Wes.
Mike, going back to Patrick Hornqvist, he's a guy who always wants to be out there. Could you kind of tell out there today how badly he had been itching to be a part of the group?
Sure. I talked to Patrick throughout his whole isolation period, and so him and I had a lot of conversations throughout that week, and I could sense through the phone his energy and his anxiety to want to get on the ice and join the team. So we're thrilled that we got him involved. He brings a certain level of enthusiasm to our group, and we think it's contagious. And you can just the bounce in our step is different when he's on the ice with us, when he's on the bench with us, when he's in the locker room. He's a real enthusiastic guy. He brings a ton of energy to the rink. And I don't think he's ever had a bad day in his life. He's just a real positive guy, and that stuff rubs off. And we love that about Horny. He brings that to the table, as well as he's a hell of a hockey player on top of that. So we're certainly a much better team when he's around and in our lineup, and our environment is much more fun to be in when he's part of it.
Next question, Chris Adamski. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Mike, just for Horny or any of the guys, the 9, are they all eligible to participate in in terms of scrimmage after the one practice? Is that enough to get them to be able to play tomorrow night?
Yes, they're all eligible.
And is there any, now that you're a week and a half into a true, camp setting, do you feel as if everybody's conditioning is where it would be at a normal sort of camp or a normal time in the middle of the season in terms of hockey if they're being off for 4 months like that, 3 months?
I think under the circumstances, our team is a pretty fit group. I think they did a great job during the informal skates. We had great participation by all our players. The skills coaches and the people involved in helping facilitate those informal skates did a terrific job. And as I said all along here, the one aspect of their that they really couldn't address is just the battle stuff and the tight area space and leaning on people and getting leaned on and things of that nature. And that's a different type of conditioning. And so we're trying to give them every opportunity throughout the course of this camp since we've been together to try to establish that level of conditioning. That's the game ready condition that we're looking for. And it's hard to simulate that in practice. The only way you get that is to play games. And that's why we're having the amount of inter-squads that we're having in hopes that we can get these guys most game ready for game one here.
Chris, do you have an additional question, or is your hand just up?
No, I'm okay. Thanks, Sam.
Okay, next question will be the last one. Mike DeFabo, go ahead.
Just to follow up on that, you're talking about how it's difficult to replicate some of this conditioning stuff. Considering Patrick Hornqvist has missed a big portion of that, do you feel like he's done enough to get himself game ready where he'll be ready to go for the first game?
Yes, Horny's an extremely fit guy, and he takes a lot of pride in it. He works extremely hard off the ice. I know when he was back in Sweden, he skated a fair amount, and so there's a foundation there that he's built. And I know when he was in isolation, he did everything he could at his house to stay ready. And so he's just a consummate pro. He just takes care of himself. He does things the right way, and his work ethic is off the charts when it comes to his conditioning. So to be able to step into a practice like that today with basically 2 skates under his belt in the last couple of weeks, I think is impressive, and I think that just gives you an indication of his work ethic and how he takes care of himself.